Today I'm going to go ahead and get started on the front brake master cylinder reservoir. I've already rebuilt the rear brake master cylinder. I'm trying to get these brakes lined out, but I want to clean this out first and then I'll get down to the calipers. But before I get started, I don't know if there's anything I could do with this housing, but man, this gray is just looking horrible to me. So I'm going to see if I can use some of this back to black. It works pretty good on sun faded and problem areas like on your car and stuff. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try it on the bike. It might make a difference because actually all it does is dry out over time, because I just don't like the looks of it. I was going to wait and kind of detail the bike once I got done with everything, but I just get tired of looking at it. It looks like it's coming back. Much better than that gray. Even this throttle lock is coming back a little bit on the color. All right, let's open this up and see what it looks like. I'm really happy that these screws are coming loose. It's like the clutch master cylinder. Man, I have fought these things in the past. Hey, that doesn't look half bad. I thought we were going to have a mess here. It's just dirty fluid. Doesn't have a bunch of junk in it. So I'll just stick me a rag down here to absorb it all. Let me get on some gloves. I don't want to get this stuff on my fingers. I have a bad habit of working with this stuff without gloves on. It's not good for you. It's always better idea to put you on some gloves. So, all right, let's see what this looks like. I think one more. Get every nook and cranny in there. Try to get it as clean as possible. Then I'll take a little bit of WD-40 and I'm just going to squirt it on the rag. And then I'm going to clean this window with it. If you use cleaner on this window, a lot of times it'll fog it up. The WD-40 kind of helps clean it without making it look horrible. You'll still be able to see through it. I actually learned that at work because I was working on some equipment a lot and I had to do oil changes and stuff, and there's a lot of sight glass stuff, and when we use cleaner it would fog it up so bad I have to end up changing the sight glass. Well, I found that WD-40 will clean it without damaging the sight glass. Little tip for you. I think that's pretty good. We're going to go ahead and put some good clean DOT fluid in it, brake fluid. Fortunately, that wasn't too bad. I might get lucky on the brakes. So we're just going to go ahead and put the cover on it for now. Whenever we go to bleed this brakes out, then we'll take the cover back off and keep it topped up as we bleed it. All right, now we're going to work on the left front caliper. If you remember from my walk around video on this bike, the guy had taken off both calipers because he said they were froze up. So it doesn't really look bad to look at it, but what I'm going to do is I pumped these out a little bit whenever I got done with my master cylinder up there. I'm just going to spray this off a little bit and try to clean these a little bit before I try to push it back in. I'm not going to do too much cleaning on it. I don't think it's not really bad. I don't know if you could see that very well on the video, but they're not really that bad. Actually, they look pretty good. I don't see any pits or rust on it, which is a really good thing. Yeah, those pistons look pretty good, actually. I don't think this one was froze up. If it was, it would surprise me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the bleeder on this. It's the best way if you're going to try to push this piston back in to get it to go in without fighting it. And I'll try just using a screwdriver, but I've got them pushed in enough to where that'll go on. So I'm going to lock this back down, and then we'll clean it up again, get all this brake fluid off of it. Get off my gloves too. All right, I've got it pushed in pretty good actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my pins and get these ready. I'm going to load it down with some grease. When you put grease on these pins, you want to try to keep it off the very tip of it, because what will happen is it'll create pressure in there and it'll want to keep pushing out. So let's go ahead and mount this on here. I'm using my torque wrench because I'm going to torque these down. Once I get it where I want it. Okay. Now put a little bit of grease down here on this part of it. Get me a ratchet, make it a little bit easier. Okay. Now I think this one was 25 foot-pounds for the big one, which that's right there. That's 25. And it's 17 for these other ones. So there's 15, 16, 17. All right. So we'll spray this off once more and then we'll go to the other side. Yeah. So it's not locked on there now, but we'll see how it does once we bleed it all out and everything. Yeah, this one might be a little different story. It doesn't really look too bad either, though. The pistons don't. Yeah, I think it's varnished up or something inside of there. That looks like somebody got a little crazy with a screwdriver or something. All right, let's take this apart. Ooh, that was on there. This here is nothing but a lock. It locks these two pins in place so the shoes won't come off. Just has one bolt holding it. Let me get a punch and stuff. All right. So now I'm going to punch out these pins. Those pads are not in really bad shape at all. Yeah, the pins don't really look that bad. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump this out with the brake pedal. Whoop, that ain't going to do any good. I got to close that bleeder valve. I'm going to leave that shoe in there, and I'm going to pump these pistons out. Usually one comes out before the other. That's why I left the shoe in, so it'd kind of hold it and force the other one to start coming out. You can see that there. If I keep pumping, the other one will pop out. Okay. Now I'm going to loosen this back up. So I can force these back a little bit and get this shoe out of here. Pad. Oh. Okay, there's the pad. Now let's see if I can get that other piston to come out. Oh, I gotta close that bleeder. Now we'll try to get that other piston to come out. Yeah, there's that one. And there's that one. Yeah, there's a bunch of gumminess down in there. I'm going to have to clean these. Now the pistons, I like to clean up with some Neverdol or Magic Eraser, something like that, so it doesn't scratch it. And then inside of here, I will use like a Scotch-Brite. So I'm going to take the Scotch-Brite. First, I'm going to get this gunk out of here at the bottom. Quite a bit in there. Okay, so then we'll take our Scotch-Brite and I'll just fold it where I get my finger in there. And we're going to kind of buff this a little bit. Going to leave a little bit of that brake fluid in there. That'll kind of give us a little lubrication. And this hardware down here at the bottom for the brake, make sure you got that nice and clean. You can take it out if you want, but it's pretty easy to clean with it in there. And I don't recommend putting any grease on this or anything, because that brake dust will just stick to it and then it'll make your brake stick. So I just like to leave mine dry. Okay. Well, it's not perfect, but it looks better. Looks like this one up here at the top needs a little bit more attention. Okay. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that's much better. So now we need to clean the pistons up, and this is what I use on it. If I can get the lid off. Call this a swatting cloth or something like that. And it'll clean it without damaging it. If you use that Scotch-Brite on this, it'll scratch it all up. And you don't want that. Okay. They're not perfect, but they ought to function a little better. We'll take our 2 pins and we'll check them. And again, I don't think you want to put any grease on this, because like I say, it'll collect brake dust and road dirt and it will just make it worse. So I think this is designed to go metal on metal, and I think it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and put it back together. Pour me a cap full of brake fluid, clean brake fluid. Now coat the O-rings and the bore a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm just going to put a little bit of brake fluid in there. And I'll coat this pistons real good. And you could bring it in from this end, or you could just drop it straight down, however you want to do it. Try to get it as straight in there as you possibly can. And you'll have to crack your bleeder to let the air out of it so that the piston will go in. There we go. Now, both of those are in. Now, I do like to put a little bit of grease around this brake shoe. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I like to do it just in case, especially on the piston side. I guess it'd help if I turn it around the right direction. And we'll slide the pin in. You'll have to have a little bit of downward pressure on it in order to get that pin to go in, because you're going against the hardware. See right here, you got to push down just a little bit because you got that spring pressure from the hardware on it. All right, so I've got that one in. And this one doesn't need as much because it's got a wide open area here. Same thing, you got to push down on this one. And once you get it lined up, your pins will come all the way through the other side like that. And then you just take your lock, slide them over the pins and let them drop down. That holds them in. There's a little groove on them pins, so when this lock drops down on it, it locks it in place. Okay, I'm going to give it a good cleaning here. All right, so now we'll go ahead and line everything back up. I'll come back and torque these after I'm done with the bleeding. I think these are 17 and this one's 25, I believe. All right, I'm done with this one. Now I'm going to go to the back, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the back. I'm not going to show it because it's the same process. I'll pick back up with you whenever I'm ready to bleed the system again. All right, I'm done with the back, and I'm done with the front, so let's go ahead and pump it up. I'm sure I got a lot of air in the system again. Okay, I'm just going to pump it out now. I have to loosen this up a little more. Look, I just noticed something that's coming out of this line. That fitting must be loose. Let me tighten it up. Okay, that ought to help. Probably sucking in a little bit of air out of that. I'll fill the reservoir back up. See if the wheel moves. Yep, wheel still moves. That's a good thing. Now it feels like the pedal's getting solid. Okay, I'm going to leave that open. I'm just going to pump it out. I get all that air out. It looks pretty good, actually. Yep. Holds it and it releases it, just like it's supposed to. Well, I've got a lot of fluid out of this. So I would imagine it doesn't have much old fluid left in it. As much as I've bled through. Alright. I've got it topped off, so let's pump it up. Hold it. Pump it up. Hold it. Pump it up. Hold it. Wheel's moving, that's good. I'll pump it up. Well, I'm getting a good pedal now. Pump it up. Hold it. Alright, now I'm just going to pump it out. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to pump it up. I'm going to bleed it out once or twice more because I got a little bit too much fluid in the reservoir. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. The wheel rolls, stops, releases. That's what we want. So I'll just put the cap back on here. And we're done with the brakes. You can see that's as far down as the pedal goes. I got a real good brake pedal. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, but you may only see about 30 to 40 minutes of it. My goodness, this took me the better part of the day. I had to go ahead and do each one of the 3 calipers, tear them all apart, clean them all up, put them all back together, flush out all the fluid, and fortunately looks to me like that the brake pads are good, so I won't have to buy any brake pads for a while. And that all looks good. So now my brakes look like they'll work properly. I can't wait to get it out. I'm getting really close. I need to tear the front end apart probably. I got a new front tire in there. I've already got the new back tire put on. And while it's off, I might as well go ahead and do the forks and probably the steering stem bearings while I'm in there. So that's all I have for you today. Appreciate you coming along watching, and I'll see you on the next one.